Good morning or good afternoon almost. I just wanted to show you guys, I am getting ready to put tomato plants in the garden, and I wanted to show you one of the things that I do for several months previous to that. And you know, a lot of life is about preservation or preparation for sure. I take any eggshells that we have and I grind them, and you can see I have a little container that says do not eat. But for the rest of the house, I know what's in here. But I am going to, it is as simple as just taking the eggshells. I put them on this pan and put them in the oven at 200 and just let them dry out and heat up a little bit. And so I do that. And then I have just a single serving coffee bean grinder that I bought thrifted. And I don't crunch them up, but I kind of do. I just like crunch them in my hands like this, put them in here, put this on, and grind them up until they are a powder. And I'll show you what that looks like. See? Powder. And then I just pour them in this container, and the bread maker stopped. I have a bread maker in the background. Sometimes I bake in the oven, sometimes I just put everything in the bread maker because, just on a side note on bread, I feel like that there is so many preservatives in bread that we get from the store to make it last longer. And so I will put a lot of effort into trying to bake our bread at home. I don't always, just honesty. Things happen and occasionally I buy a loaf of bread, but I try really hard to do that at home. So even if that means not kneading it myself and doing all the things, and then baking it in the oven and watching it and all that on those days, my mother-in-law gifted me a bread maker, and I will use the bread maker to do that. So that's what you hear turning off and on in the background. So you saw the eggshells. I had probably 20 eggshells, maybe a little more than that, maybe 24 on this. And I just crunch the shells a little bit, put them in here. So this little grinder will make, it will grind, well, I got it lodged evidently. It will grind several at one time. In the same way you would if you were grinding coffee beans, you just shake it to make sure that it pulls them all in. Okay, and that's all. So this is the shells. And so I am getting ready to plant tomato plants, and I will put maybe like 3 tablespoons of that in the bottom of every one of my plant holes, and it helps to prevent blight and blossom end rot. Great source of calcium. So, you know, people say, well, if you just drop an egg in there, if you just save your shells, that is true, but it would be like, I think I read somewhere next year before that plant could use that calcium, where if you take this 10 minutes or, you know, maybe 20 at most to prepare, then it will be able to use that calcium this year. So I will amend my soil. I will put in the bottom of every hole for my tomatoes this year. So that's how I do that. I hope that's a good tip for you. If it is, Like and comment at the bottom if you've done this before and if you could tell a difference. I personally can tell a difference. I have not had nearly the problem since I started using calcium. And you can buy oyster shell calcium. You can buy several things to use. But this is something that we use every day. And it just takes a little bit of intentional saving to make sure that I had this ready at the right time. So let me know what your experience with that is, and like or dislike this if you like this content at the bottom, and I hope you have a fantastic day.